लिखा आ रहा है कि लाइव जा रहे हैं यूट्यूब।
मेरे को
भाई
mute कर
भाई
दो।
म्यूट कर लो, भाई म्यूट कर दो, भाई प्लीज म्यूट कर दो। यूट्यूब पे सुन लूंगा मैं।
ओके, आई गेस उसको एडिट कर लेते, अभी कर लेते एडमिट मानवी को। आई एम एडमिटिंग अभी मानवी।
Okay.
She's connecting.
Are we set? Yes.
We are all set.
Our speaker is also here. Hello, hello, Manvi
Hello,
ma'am.
Manvi.
We have to ask to unmute to her, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Kushang. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. So yeah.
I guess we should admit everyone, Kushang, now.
Should we? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's admit everyone.
I'm just disabling the waiting room now.
Okay. Welcome, people. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. A very good morning to all.
Lovely, beautiful morning to everyone here.
Our speaker is also with us.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so Saturday morning, 10:32. You all are joining in on this link. That is something that makes you differentiated from your classmates, I guess. You're here to learn. You're here to know something about. You are serious about something that other people are not. So kudos to everyone who has joined in. And we are 30 people here right now. We'll wait for like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and then we'll start. Excited for the session? Yes, excited. We're excited as well. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'll be making you co-host as well, right? Okay, I guess it's done. You're the co-host, ma'am.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, we are almost 40 people here. That's great. So this is the day 2 of Nakshatra, everyone. We have a session right now, and we'll be having lined up sessions for all of it today as well. So keep checking the chat messages. We'll be sharing link of everything right there. Okay, let's jump into this session. I guess the time is almost it. Let me introduce you to the speaker of the session today, this morning. Everyone, she's Manvi Tyagi. She's currently a software developer at Twitter, and she's also the founder of Girl Coded, and she's an influence of to everyone. And just by going to her LinkedIn, can someone please add all the links from Manvi ma'am in the chat box? We can all know how much she has contributed, how much she can inspire us, and we expect the same from you today, ma'am. Welcome to GDSC Medicaps, and welcome to Nakshatra. I hope we all have a great time with you, and we are almost 50 people here, and we can all start with the session, and we can all start to learn. Also, to everyone who has joined in, please stay till the last moment of this meeting, because we will be having a quiz around the topics of what we have covered in this meeting. So based on that quiz, we will decide a winner, and we will give them handsome amount of goodies. And so yeah, that was my part. All to you, ma'am.
Thanks, Kushang, and thanks everyone, GDSC team, for inviting me here, and thanks to all of you guys for actually joining it at 10:30 in the morning. Without like taking much time, I'll share my screen. Let me know if you can see it, and we'll get talking.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so we are here for a session on women in tech, but I'll be talking about in tech general as well, because at the end of the day, a person in tech is a person, neither a man nor a woman, and that is what my dream is. I want a day to come when there is no such term as women in tech. Have you heard a term called as women in hospitality or women in HR? The reason is there are already many women in HR and management. That's why these terms don't exist. So I want this term to disappear as well. I have a real hater towards this term, and the reason is it exists. The reason why I don't like this term is this bias exists today, and this is my dream that one day this bias will disappear, and by our efforts, actually by the effort of everyone in the room and everyone out there. So today's talk, the agenda, you can see, like, I'll be giving a short introduction of myself, what I'm doing currently and what I've done in the past. A little about women in tech, the past, present and future, according to my experiences, opportunities specifically for women in tech and in general as well, placement strategies and interview prep. These topics are open ended. Okay, so I'll keep them like an AMA session or an open ended discussion, or there are a bunch of things that we can talk about, so I'll leave on you whatever you guys ask the most. I'll talk about that. Okay, so I am Manvi, as you already know, and I am currently working as a software engineer at Twitter, Bangalore, India. And I graduated in 2021, so I'm a software engineer one. And I work on full stack development in Twitter. I work in a innovation team. We build like I cannot talk actually much about what I do at Twitter, so I'll leave that part there. Um, I also founded Girl Coded when I was in my second year of college. I am actually not able to see the chats, but okay, I'll keep them open somewhere. Yes. Girl Coded is an organization which we, started as a kind of a college community in our college, but soon our courses, our code maps, whatever we were doing, spread it by word of mouth. We did not do any promotions, any marketing at all. Just people started spreading because they liked it, and it was kind of scalable. So people from other colleges started joining us, starting from DTU to NSUT to IIT Delhi. Starting from Delhi, we spread from like north to the south. We became a community not limited to college very soon. So that's how the journey of Girl Coded has been. And currently, we are starting chapters of Girl Coded in Pune city in two different colleges. And this decentralization is important because I have also graduated, and to keep it, continue to work and you know let the things which I started perish in the future as well. So I have decided to decentralize the chapters of Girl Coded. I have interned at PayPal in 2021 as a fourth year student. I got a PPO from there. I interned at Innovator, which is a unicorn startup again at the end of my third year, and got a pre-placement offer from there as well. And in after my second year, I was a full stack web development intern at PWS, which was a startup which doesn't even exist now. The fun part is that startups are like that. You work for them and then they disappear because not every startup is successful. But it's a great learning if you get to build things from scratch. That doesn't mean you should join any startup at all. I'm clearing this thing out because I have experienced it. I have joined wrong startups as well, where there was no learning. There are startups, okay, if you are the only engineer in the team, what will you learn, right? So don't join such startups if you are the only person or there are only two people and the other person is not good. I have like a lot of interest in teaching. So I was also teaching at Boss Coder Academy, and I was a teaching assistant like long back in Coding Ninjas, and I still like keep teaching if somebody approaches me. And for Boss Coder and Versio, I'm a paid mentor with them. Avinash is asking how to know which startup is right one. Avinash, keep that question. I'll definitely answer it. So let's start with the women in tech thing, the past, future, and history. So you guys all know like what a airbag is. It's so much important for safety right now. Like it has been always important. And the history of airbags is the perfect example of why diversity is so important in engineering. So the early models of airbag bags which were released in the market, they failed badly on women and children. And the lives of so many people was risked because of this failure, right? And the reason behind that was the team that built these airbags did not realize that, okay, they have to build it for someone who doesn't look like them. What does that mean is that all the people who were in the design, product, and everything in the team of testing team of airbags, those were all men. If there would have been a woman, a single woman at least, she could have added a different perspective to the team. And this is just a small example. We have, as men and women, we have different needs and thought processes, our consumer needs as well. And we can like uh, also another disclaimer, I am using the word men and women, but I completely respect the non-binary community as well, and I am mentioning all the genders while I say men and women. So just to sake of simplicity, I'm using only men and women, but I am very respectfully including the non-binary community as well. So this simple example tells us that to create a safer, more inclusive world, we need more women working in coding, product design, engineering, testing teams, along with their male counterparts. So about the history of women in tech, like you all know Ada Lovelace. I don't know if you know or not, but you definitely should know. She was the first person, not the first woman, the first person to write a complex program. It's from 1840s, I guess. Then after like 150 years around, after 150 years in 90s something, Grace Hooper was another woman who wrote the first compiler ever. She was the first person who could like before Grace Hooper did this discovery, people would write programs in mathematics only. She was the person who actually came with the idea of writing English and talking to computers. So the history of women in tech has been very glorious. There are many inventions other than these also. Like, do you know like the windshield wipers, the automatic windshield wipers, the home security systems, and the frequency hopping technology, which actually led to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. All these things have been invented by women. So the point you'll know why I'm talking about this. You all know that today the number of women in engineering has decreased so sharply. What happened? Like, if the women were so good at technology, if they were so good at STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, why number of women in technology decreased over time? This past tells one thing: it's not biology. Okay, women are not born with decreased IQ for mathematics, so it's not biology which led to this thing. It's culture. And what is that culture? I'll show you a small example of what that culture is. I'm doing a simple Google search. Let's do toy shop for girls. Do you see what came up? Only Barbies, doll houses, kitchen sets, home, right? Now let's replace this word. Do you see anything related to technology at all? A mobile phone, a video game, nothing like that, right? Only homes and um, Barbie sets and kitchen sets. Whoa. The first thing is a robot, aeroplanes, cars, video games all around. This is what happened. The culture changed. So it's the reason behind the less number of women in technology is not biology, it's culture. And you just saw a simple example of on initial level what culture we are living in. So even today, like you will find that even though there is a lot of awareness about these things that bring gender neutral toys, don't at least discriminate on toys on the basis of gender. But there is like I would say negligible progress. And why I'm saying that is because I've seen this happening at my home as well. Like not to me, but to my younger cousins, and I'm trying to educate my uncles and aunts to not do this and uh, have a environment like they are not doing it purposely, they're not doing it purposely, right? But probably they don't know. And another thing that happened was like in the 80s 90s when the size of the computer was like a living room, at that time women were doing so good at tech. But when the size of the computer decreased, when it started fitting in a room, what happened then? So again, like when computer became accessible to everyone, there was a time when computer was not accessible for everyone. At that time only privileged people could play with it. So Ada Lovelace, Gray Super, probably they had access to it, and some more men had access to it. But then a boom of computers came, personal laptops, personal computers came, and parents started buying those, video games and computers for the living room, for the rooms of their boys and not girls. That is what happened. Over time, this became a culture that women started having low confidence in technology. Um, that's what I think. Like, and there are a lot of researches around. You can find data also around it. And I don't need to tell the number, right? You already are in an engineering college, and you know how many women, how many girls are there in your class. For me, I was in a class of 80, and there were only 6 girls. um, so what can we do now? Like the problem has happened. I think we have to undo what has been done. The culture problem. We can start clubs like Girl Code or Black Girls Code, or there are many clubs till date. But these clubs, along with being operative at the college level, they also need to be operative at a lower level. By lower level, I mean educating parents. By, like, if you have younger siblings, you are seeing your uncle and aunts, unconsciously doing this bias, you can take a stand for them. Next time, if you go to the birthday party of a girl or a boy, think about what toy you're gifting them. It's not just about the toys, it's just a small example, but never feel them, let them feel underconfident, never let them feel that they can't do this. Computer is not a thing for women. And some people might disagree, but this still exists. Okay, I am from a town where 80% of women are still unemployed. I'm still sitting at that place. Okay, 80 to 85% of women in my town are still unemployed. They're housewives. And okay, no negative thoughts for housewives here, but I hope that you get what I'm saying. And the remaining 15% people, women who are employed, are teachers here. That's the only career that women from my town has seen. It's the younger generation. They're like, I'm glad that those parents have taken steps to, for us, for people like me, for their children, to they gave us the opportunity to grow. But also, like as I told you, that the for boys they will bring toys like laptops or personal computers. Not exactly toys, but you will not find a PlayStation or a video game. Things like these also being gifted to girls even by their parents. So in my case as well, I have seen this happening, not in my house, but like I consider myself privileged because my parents are like everyone. Parents are good, but they took care of this thing as well. Um, so I have some neighbors. Like let's say they have two children, a boy and a girl. The bias here was so much that they would admit their boys in good schools. Like, as I told, like the town is not very progressive, so the good schools are actually outside of the town, and people have to travel by bus to get there. Um, and they would admit their girls in a local school, in a UP board or Hindi medium school here itself in the town, and they would admit their boys in the good schools. And this actually has happened, and my mother actually had to fight with my with the elders in my family to let me and my sister study in a good school. So this is not something that doesn't happen. Maybe like a girl, even you, if you don't know these things, if you don't have if you haven't experienced these things, please be grateful and feel privileged. So the good news is these numbers are increasing. India is one of those countries which have like higher percentage of women in STEM than the other countries. It's like approximately 27 to 30% of engineering graduates are female in India, while the same number is quite low in UK and US. It's lower than India. But what is the bad news? The bad news is, like, as the career progresses of a women, women are disappearing. Like, I have joined as a SWE1, okay? I have joined at a good company. Many people along with me have joined, many female engineers have joined. So let's say if 100 women are joining as SWE1s, like as they're starting their careers, let's say it's X percentage. So women in leadership decrease by some Y percentage, and women on board decrease by another Z percentage. Women are disappearing. The trend, like you might have heard it also already, like there are not a lot of women in leadership, and that's a whole different topic. That why women in leadership are um, declining. I will not keep that topic for today's talk. If somebody is interested, we can talk about it later because it's a very sensitive topic, and a lot of things have to be put on the table to let you understand the reason behind it. I think I'm done the first part of the talk, like the past and present of women in tech. And about future, I think the future is glorious, and I'm very confident that this PPT will not be needed after a few years. There will be nothing called as women in tech, and I'm eagerly waiting for that day. Opportunities for women in tech. I think that was the title that was promoted everywhere, so that is important. Yes. Um, so there are companies who are advocating for women in tech, and some good companies really. If you have heard of diversity hirings, the reason behind diversity hiring, which I feel is not there, like they are big supporters of diversity. It's because they want diversity in their company. Like you saw the airbags example, it's a necessity for them. But there are some other companies, some other organization and communities which are genuinely advocating for this whole topic. So I'll talk about the main things. There are a lot of things. I have a list. I found a list. Some person made it. Some, I guess I don't remember the name. Shikha, I guess she has a GitHub repository. I have found it. But I'll talk about the main 7 opportunities, which I definitely think that you must not miss if you are in college. First is Google Step Internship. I think probably you'll not find anywhere that it's for women only. I guess boys are also selected, but yes, it's after second year. But I like as far as I see, I've seen more girls in Step, especially from India. From outside India, I've seen boys as well. So you can apply for Step Internship only after second year. And it's like a regular internship in Google, but it's after second year, and like obviously the competition and the bar is little lower as compared to fourth years, or if you join apply for level 4 or some other level. So definitely do give it a try. If you're good at DSLGO and if you are into data structures and algorithms, you must not miss this opportunity, and do apply. Like even if you don't feel confident, go ahead and apply. And experience, like I'm telling you, I interviewed with Google in my second year or third year, and it was a great experience, though I was not selected. But one interview with Google kind of changed my the trajectory of my college life. And why I say that is like I got to learn a lot about how to give interviews, and Google gives you like all the directions and all help that they can. So definitely a great experience that you should not miss. Another is LinkedIn Vinathon. It's conducted for third or fourth year students, I guess. First there will be a test, and not everyone is allowed to participate in the hackathon. It's a hackathon actually. So first there will be an online test, and if you're shortlisted, you will go for a hackathon. And if you are, if you win the hackathon, you get internship and full-time opportunities from LinkedIn. Adobe also conducts, like almost every year, they conduct a diversity hiring program called as Codiva. And I had, as far as I know, Adobe is like a great company to work for, and Codiva is conducted every year. I think I also gave it, but did not proceed with the interviews later because I had other offers. Ghci Scholarship. GHCI is Grace Hooper. Remember the women we were talking in the second slide, Grace Hooper? On the name of her only, GHCI is called. I stands for India. GHC is for India as well as an international scholarship. You can apply for both of them, and they are really great opportunities to network, build your network, find people who are doing the same thing, and they can actually once you build a network, you get a lot of help from them. Your network is your net worth actually in today's world. So under GHCI scholarship, you get a career fair as well, other than like a lot of events and sessions. For me, I think the main attraction is the career fair. A lot of companies visit. Again, I received the scholarship, but at the time when this career fair was being conducted, I already had offers, so I did not participate in the career fair. But some of my friends did, and I was in the group, so I was seeing what's happening. So which is like really great. If you are from a tier 3 college, and not a lot of colleges, my headphones battery is low. Just a second. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
All right. Yes. So you definitely should apply for GHCI scholarship. You will get a lot of opportunities from here. And tips for applying for GHCI is like a lot of are there and not everybody is selected. A form is released and they ask you like, what is your motivation for being in tech? Have you done any contributions for women in tech? Questions like these. Write them. Write them honestly, very honestly, and ask previous scholars to review them. Like you can contact them on LinkedIn, or even if not previous scholars, you can ask your seniors or your friends to review them. They can put out, like they can give you good ideas, and you must not submit. Like I believe if you, it's good to have a review once. Another one is Google Code Gem for women, like Code Gem IO for women. So it's a coding competition. Code Jam is like occurs for like gender neutral code jam also exists, but for there is specifically one for women as well. And if you like are in the top 150 or 250, I don't remember the exact number, you get a chance to attend some IO event of Google in some other country, which again is a great opportunity. And um, again, so let me just check the chat box. Avinash is asking, is diversity hiring is the right way to encourage women in tech? Avinash, as I also said, these companies are not doing diversity hiring to encourage women in tech. They are doing diversity hiring because they need women in their team. So it's kind of an unnecessary evil. I'll talk about it. Let's talk about that as well. That's one of my personal experiences. I'll share that with you. So do give Google Code Jam, and in fact, like Google conducts a lot of coding competitions, Hash Code and Code Jam, Kickstart. So give all of them. They are really good. Like even if you're not able to solve those questions, if you attend these contests and try to upsolve these by help of YouTube videos, or by, they also release the solutions with all explanations, you will learn a lot. Like you will learn advanced techniques as well as some basic to medium techniques. And I definitely like push on this a lot for everyone to give Kickstart and Code Jam and Hash Code. Like when I was a student, I was preparing, I would not miss a single competition by them. Another one is Talent Sprint Women in Engineering Scholarship. I am not sure if this particular scholarship is still existing, because I guess like we helped the students from Girl Core to get for like to get the scholarship, and in one of the batches like around 10 to 15 people got it, and it was totally free and they learned a lot through it. But I guess the next batch had it paid, so I'm not sure what's happening currently. um, and the last, like these are the 7 things which I feel that you definitely should keep an eye on. There are many other things as well, but these things you should definitely keep an eye on and apply whenever the opportunity comes. Outreachy is another open source program for underrepresented people, not specifically women, but whoever is underrepresented, non-binaries, blacks, all these people. They have a like a description of who is allowed to apply. I'll show you this repository as well. So somebody made it. I guess Shikha has made it. So I did not write the same things again. And so there are a list of organizations which you can join. And there is a list of scholarship. I told you some of these scholarships, and there are some more. Yeah, I missed another one. The Adobe Scholarship is also really good, along with LinkedIn. Adobe also has a scholarship, like they give you some amount for your college studies as well, and um, an internship opportunity as well also comes along with the Adobe Scholarship. Palantir one exists, Nutanix, Grace Hopper, I already told you about it. So you can check these out. Tech events and programs, like I mentioned, Outreachy, and there are others as well. Step Intern is also there. Google Code Gem IO for women. I talked about this one. So you can check this repository. I will provide you the link of it in the chat box. Yeah. All right, coming back to the PPT. Yes, so there was a chat, there was a question like before moving forward, because the genre of the talk is gonna change after this. So I'll take that question specifically first. Key is diversity hiring the right way to encourage women. One thing I believe, like I think companies are not doing it to encourage women. They need it. They have to. They, like you saw the example of airbags, right? So they want women in their teams. That's why they are like, and again, why diversity hiring specifically? So that, like, I am someone who was really not a fan of diversity hiring in college. I would not participate in anything related to women in tech, or even if I would participate, I would have a, you know, a feeling in the corner that I want to, you know, get into this thing by general hiring and not diversity hiring. So I was also someone ki yaar diversity hiring nahi honi chahiye. But what changed in when I joined full time in a company and when Girl Coded progressed, like in Girl Coded also, our main focus is to train women, to skill women, to, you know, and not provide them some extra privilege that they don't deserve, but to actually give them the skills, right? That is what we do at Girl Coded. So what happened was recently Girl Coded conducted a diversity hiring, which I literally did not ever think that I will ever do. But I had to do it. I'll tell you what happened. There's this company, ccoded.ai, for whom we conducted this hiring. They approached us and they told that they are looking for interns, and they already released the application. They wanted to select around 20 interns. And they're asked, like they thought, we will have like 20 to 25% women. It's not a big deal, like 20 to 25% women in the team. So which counts for like 4 women at least, 16 boys and 4 girls. That is what they wanted in their interns team. They released the applications and they could not hire a single girl. All 20 boys hired, all 20 people hired were boys. And the reason they told us was that their hiring bar was very high. Out of 100 people, they were kind of selecting one. Out of 10 people, let's say, they were selecting only one, right? So there were 100 applications of boys and there were 10 applications of girls. So even if we go by that ratio, out of 100, how many boys will be selected? 10, right? And out of, because the number of applications by girls was only 10. So by going by the same ratio again, one girl would be selected. And that is what happened with them. So they said, we did not want to do a diversity hiring, but we did not get enough applications from women. And can anybody tell me why did not get enough applications for women? The answer is very simple. The answer is there are not many women in tech. We recently did a post on our channel as well, like on Girl Coded, that if there are only 26% women in engineering colleges, how is it possible that the ratio of men and women in companies will be 50-50, right? So the problem is one level deep. We need to go and, you know, talk to girls and their parents in schools as well to solve this problem. But, you know, why will these companies take that much of effort in doing it? So they wanted us to bring applications of women in bulk. And to bring those applications, the only option that we had was to release diversity hiring forms. After that, we got around 7 to 800 applications of women only. And now it was, as I like the diversity, the bar of hiring was really high. And they wanted to hire 5 girls, 4 or 5 girls, but they could ultimately hire only 3 people out of 800 applications. And out of 3, only 2 joined them. So 20 out of 20 interns, they ultimately ended with 2 girls and 18 boys. That too, you know, after doing so much effort, they had to contact an organization, do a third party hiring for them, a completely separate diversity hiring. Still the ratio was skewed. And that is when I realized why these companies
have to conduct diversity hiring. I'm not saying, I am also, from the beginning of the talk, I'm saying I want this women in tech term to disappear, the diversity hiring term to disappear. But until it is not disappeared, sadly, it's a necessity. So I would say that it's an evil necessity. It's a necessity, but it's an evil as well. So it's an evil necessity. That is, I hope that answers your question, whoever asked it, I guess Aniket or someone. Okay. Any questions until now before I move to the next set of the conversation?
Yeah, there are few questions. Kushang, would you please ask from the chat?
Yeah, Tanishka has asked recently during placements, she heard many students saying companies give an upper edge to girls, even if they lack certain skills. Is it true?
So if you ask from my experience, I will not say it's true. For some companies, I have also heard the same, but the thing is, I have also heard it. And it might also be happening. And like we conducted the Ghci Codify diversity hiring, and we selected only 2 people, 3 people out of 800. So we did not lower the bar, and we like, this is my personal view, the hiring bar should not be lowered for anyone. But if you go into depths again, why they have to do it, there are many things behind it. There is still a disprivilege for women. Like you can and this point that I'm going to tell you, it is not my original point. I was talking to one of my friends who is a male, who is a boy, and he told me that he was in some coding club, and he would stay there all night. Like he would come there in the morning, and sometimes he would just stay there all night and he would code with friends. But the girls had to leave at 5 p.m. At the same time, he was staying there until 3 4 a.m. The girls had to leave at 5 6 p.m. If they were living too far away. If they were living nearby, they would leave at 8 and 9. And like, if you are with your friends in a community that like is encouraging and you all are coding together, it's a different thing. If you go to home, several things come up. Maybe you just open your laptops and start watching something and feel a little. So this is not even something I am telling. This is something that I heard from a boy himself. So he said that, like, the same question. I was having a discussion with him, and he said that for this little disprivilege, if the companies are giving a little privilege, it's not a problem. But I'm again mentioning, this is not what I felt, but it made somehow so much sense to me when he said it to me. Any common skills we have to learn for these scholarships? Atharva, I would say the skill to write, one thing. You have to, like, you might be doing a lot of things, but you were not able to present them correctly in your answers. So that's one thing. And what they what they look for in your profile is how active you are in how good you are as a technologist, how active you are in communities. So this is basically like the questions are different. Basically, if you are doing good in tech, you will have content to write. If you're not doing good in tech itself, then forget, like, even if you're good at English and expressing, what will you write? So having that I would say lifestyle, because when I was in college, it was my lifestyle to code, to be involved in communities. And I had to just jot down that lifestyle in answers. So one thing is being good at writing answers, and one thing is having that content to write answers. That's all. Yeah. I'm good with DSA, but I don't have good projects. Will it affect my interview? Yes, Ashvi. If you have companies visiting your college, then I don't think you will have a disadvantage. But like for off-campus opportunities, getting your resume selected is very important. So you don't have good projects, but you have projects, so that's fine. You will not have a lot of disadvantage over it. Once you get selected, most of the companies ask DSA and things about your project. Definitely they ask things about your project. But even if it is a basic project, by basic I don't mean that you can make just a RGB game or a simple game. It should be something at least. So as long as it's good enough, it's okay. And if you know the basics of it, if you're answering the questions around it, so let's say you just made a simple REST API, a simple CRUD API, nothing else. But are you able to answer questions around it? What is REST API? What are the HTTP verbs? All the differences between the HTTP verbs. There could be many questions around it, like what's included in the header, what's course. So if you are able to answer questions around it, even if your project is basic, it doesn't matter. Avinash says how to know which startup is right one. So Avinash, from my experience, you should look at the team. Just don't blindly join them. I did join a startup where there were like 3 people other than me, so I was actually not alone. But all 3 of them were literally beginners. I was in second year, and they were also in third year, but somehow they were not like really good. If they were not even paid, I was kind of better than them, and I was doing a paid internship, and all 3 of them were doing unpaid internship at the same company. So I was working with 3 of them, and they were actually in the learning phase. I will also say that I was also in the learning phase, and there was no one who could guide us a lot. So I think I was doing things on my own only. And from my experience, that if you have a mentor, then the pace of learning is very good, as compared to if you're doing things alone. So that's why just see the team which you're gonna join. And if it comes to startups like Cred or Frampay, then these are definitely good startups, no doubt in that. But I'm talking about startups like which your college seniors are starting, or which somebody is approaching you on LinkedIn and telling, I'm starting this thing. They're on the very scratch of it. If they have not even registered, some people just check the community, the kind of people involved with these startups. Is it mandatory to do internships in third or final year, Prince? um, okay, so yes, actually it is mandatory. Like, it was at least in my college. I'm not sure for your. Can you guys hear a lot of background noise?
It's okay, not too much.
Yes, so I think, Prince, it was mandatory in my college at least, and I think from government as well there is some kind of rule. But even if it is mandatory or not mandatory, in third year or final year, you should do one internship at least. Like, before you sit for your full-time interviews, you should do one internship or 2 internships, or as like, yeah. I will not say as much as you can, but yeah, if you're already good at DSA, and if you're, I would say that being good at DSA is also not a compulsory thing. If you are someone who is looking for jobs in development, for in startups, and you are someone very active in development, then even if you are not very good at DSA, it's fine. But if you're looking to sit for placements from your college in companies like Microsoft, or even companies like PayPal and Cisco, all these companies ask DSA. So for giving you a ground for things, like, I can help you with these things, like process of getting internship and full-time offers off campus if companies don't visit your college, what to and how to prepare for interviews, and the interview hour, how to give an interview. And why specifically these things? Because I think my expertise lies in here. I just graduated 6-7 months back, and I had a number of offers from different companies, and all off campus, because I am also from not from a very good college where not many companies visit. By good college, I just mean that. So if you have any questions around these, you can ask them. Should we focus on learning new technologies or improving DSA or projects if looking for an off-campus placement? So again, Yashashvi, for off-campus placements, I think I'll talk, because the questions are in the same format for everyone. So I will just open another PPT that I delivered to some other place, and I'll answer all those questions in there. Atharv is asking, I just have a common doubt, like, how did you get into Twitter? Like, what are the eligibility criteria? So Atharv, for Twitter, there was no eligibility criteria as such. Like, the common eligibility criteria that you will see is not having backlogs, having a particular degree. So those were there. but it was a normal, listed. It was listed on their careers page, and my story into getting in Twitter is a little different. Like, the applications were out in September, October, sometime there, and interviews were conducted in December, January for everyone else. But I did not get any call from Twitter. I got the call from Twitter in March when all other people were hired, and I guess there were only 2-3 people. I guess another person was also being interviewed, so we were contacted very late. So, and that happened because somebody I always prefer that you should always, if you are applying off campus, always apply with referrals. So I do not know what happened internally, but I was contacted like 2-3 months later. And even for like companies like Cisco, I had an offer from Cisco for internship as well. I applied in June and there were no hopes of getting a call back, but they did a call back in November, and it was same for everyone this time. Like, everybody who applied got a call in November. So you should not just completely lose hope if you're not getting replies for like a month. You might get it later. About off-campus placements, I'm gonna change my screen. Okay, so this is the general off-campus interview process. Like, round one is usually an online assessment where you get aptitude MCQs, which could be related to aptitude, computer science fundamentals, which covers like OOPS or even DBMS or operating systems as well, and basic programming, plus coding questions. Either you will find both MCQs and coding questions, or you will find only coding questions in the online assessment, depending upon the company. Round 2 and round 3 is a technical face-to-face round, mostly 2, but some companies can also have 3 in their process. DSL is asked primarily in these rounds, 1 to 2 questions per round, and complete clean code is expected. Computer science fundamentals are asked, DBMS, OOPS, OS, CN, system design. And there is a huge grilling, a lot of grilling on your resume about the projects and skills. And the final round revolves around assessing you as a person and determining if you're fit for the organization or not. So Avinash is saying, like, nowadays OA is more tough than actual interview. I completely agree, Avinash. And the reason for that is like because people started cheating a lot. And that's why companies were left with no choice to, just increase the difficulty of OAs. And this was one of the problems that I faced when I started interviewing in my 4th year. So I was someone who was not actively into competitive programming, but the questions, these days in OAs were really tough. So I used to do competitive programming, but not regularly. So I wanted, the thing that I knew was that to clear these OAs, I need to have good skills in writing code fast and solving some tougher problems as well. And that's when I started giving a lot of contests. I would give contests on Code Forces, Ad Coder, Lead Code, Code Chef, and upsolve them. And the main reason behind that was I wanted to increase my speed of thinking and implementing. And that is like giving contest helped me. So I would say that give a lot of live contests to prepare for OAs and solve a little tougher questions as well. And this is like really true. These rounds are easier as compared to this online assessment. And this is not true for all companies. I will tell you the name of few companies where OA is not difficult. For Microsoft, OA is not that difficult. Amazon as well, OA is not difficult. For Google as well, OA is not really difficult. And for PayPal, it was difficult. Cisco, it was okay, like not easy as well, and not very difficult as well. For Adobe, I would say it was difficult. Like, at least my set was kind of difficult. What do you do if you're just learning computer languages? So after that, should I go for project or join community? Guide me out with this. So languages, you can, like, let's say you learned C++, then you have 2 options, like either learn the data structures and algorithms and solve questions on LeetCode, or you can do some development as well. Like, ultimately, when you are in 4th year, I expect, like that is what I feel, that one should have experience of both development and good skills on data structures and algorithms. You can choose what time frame you want, but you have to do both the things ultimately. One advice that I would give is don't overlap things. Like don't just start with development or something else if you're not good with the one thing. So this was one thing that I did web development, and then I, without doing a lot of projects, I switched to machine learning without having a lot of command in the previous things. So there are a lot of things to learn, but don't get overwhelmed it, and whatever you have started, become good at it first. So let's say you've learned some language, and if you're practicing DSL Go, then solve a good amount of questions on DSL Go first, get some confidence that you can solve questions, and only after that start doing development. Once you get some level of confidence, then you can do both things parallelly. But if you're just starting out, don't do things parallelly, do one thing. That's what my suggestion is. Priyanshi is asking for the meeting link. It's live on YouTube, Priyanshi. You can find, like, the host will give you that. Preparation strategy, guys. What if we are not a BTech student but have a good grasp of computer languages? It's completely fine, Palab. Very good. It's like all good, because I know many people who do not have a computer degree, who do not have a degree at all. Okay, I have someone in my contacts who just passed class 12th, and I had a meeting with him, and we were just talking, and I thought that this person is probably, he is in my batch or just a little bit junior to me. But the truth was, he did his class 12th and he dropped out. He did not even go to college, and he was like earning good money and doing a good job in software. So if you are good in some, like if you're good at development, the best thing about, I think, software development is this only. Even if you are a eighth grade student somehow, and even if you are a doctor, let's say, but you are good at development, if you're good at developing things, you can start out by freelancing. You can start out by applying to startups. They don't really care about your degree, they just care if you can do their work or not. So all good there. How to be consistent in DSA while learning web development. So I will actually stop presenting this, and I'll just take the AMA as itself. If that's cool. How to be consistent in DSA while learning web development. Okay, so Ghazal, let's say you are, as I talked before, like you have some level of proficiency in DSA, and you are starting to learn web development, and you want to be consistent. So there are two approaches to it. Like you can completely give your first 2 months without touching DSA to web development. Just learn it, make some projects. Now you will have a grasp on both DSA and web development, and it will be easy to manage both things parallelly. But if you want to do it along with it, then I would say, like, even like get up early in the morning and fix your time. Like you have to do 3 questions at least, or 2 questions depending upon the difficulty of the question. Okay, if you're solving a hard question on lead code, then probably just 1 question a day is enough. If you are solving easy questions, which I don't prefer, like if you have achieved a level of proficiency there, you should solve easy to medium questions more, like less easy and more medium questions. So if you're solving medium questions, probably solve 2-3 questions in a day, and fix that time. Like your day, let's say, starts at 7 a.m. Fix this 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for DSA, and for the rest of the time, like do other works, do web development or whatever your day includes if you're in college. But I believe, like, you should dedicate as much time as possible to learning, and college and everything should be managed just to, not have a backlog and a good enough CGPA to cross the eligibility criteria. Is there any internship opportunity at Girl Coded? So, Sweetie, we are currently functioning as a non-profit organization, so we cannot pay. We had one intern at for web development, but I would not say that there is a specific internship opportunity that we can provide you. All right. Any other questions, guys, or are we Good. At the end, even after technical interviews, do CGPA matters? So not after the technical interviews, Prince, but before the interviews it matters. CGPA matters only before the interviews. So this was one of my personal experiences in ShareChat and PayPal, if I mention the name of the companies as well. So a lot of people who were, there were people, let's say there were two categories of people. One who solved all questions and had a 8.5 plus CGPA. One who solved all questions, but they had a CGPA below 7 or in the line of 6 or something. So as a pattern, I observed that people having good CGPA and solved all questions were selected for interviews, but people who did solve all questions in a way but had a lower CGPA, they were not selected. That happened. Like I interned at PayPal, so yeah, for that hiring itself, I noticed this pattern. And for some companies, there is like they would write in the description that 8.5 plus, like for Cisco, 8.5 was the bar. So after interviews, it doesn't matter, but before interviews, it matters. Code Chef or Geeks for Geeks, Ghazal, depends what your goal is. Like if you're looking to improve your coding aptitude, if you're looking to learn to solve new questions and tougher problems, then Code Chef. But other than that, there is another thing, like if you're good at coding aptitude, if you're good at solving problems swiftly, you also need to be good at some standard problems. There are some standard problems that even like a lot of good coders can't solve them in 40 minutes of interview. And these, like there is this egg drop problem. So if you encounter this problem for the first time, solving it in 30 minutes might not be easy. But if you have solved it before, like even at least once, you have seen that problem once, it will be easy to solve it. So I divide the preparation into two phases. One phase is developing the coding aptitude, having the skill to solve new questions, which you might get in OAs or which you might get in interviews as well. So having the aptitude to new questions is gained by my experience by solving new questions itself, by doing code chef, code forces, giving contest. Even on lead code, you can solve new questions. So you can have a coding aptitude generated by lead code also. And this is one phase of the preparation. Okay. What is the one phase? Having a coding aptitude to solve new questions. And how do you gain it? By giving a lot of contests and by solving new questions and a little tougher problems. Okay. And another set of preparation is another stage of preparation is solving standard questions which company usually ask, right? Again, as I mentioned, there are some very tough and standard problems which companies ask. So there are a set of like 500, 600 problems which all companies, iterate and ask in their interviews. So they don't come up with something very new. So those also need to be practiced. And how to practice those, where to practice those from? There is this sheet. You can actually filter on lead code top 100 questions, top interview questions. So you can solve those sheets either, or there are sheets shared by different YouTubers as well, by pep coding. I've seen the sheet that was shared by pep coding, so I prefer that one. You can find that on their website as well, or you can have that filter on Geeks for Geeks. And another tip for having a grasp on these standard questions is interview bit. You can solve interview bit as well. Interview bit has a mix of questions. It has standard questions and it has very tough problems as well, which will help you gain a lot of coding aptitude as well. And let's say you are interviewing with X company. So before going to the interview, make sure that you read the archives from Geeks for Geeks. Like if you search Microsoft previous interview questions or Microsoft interview experiences, you will find there are a lot of articles people have written around their experiences. They have told what questions were asked, what questions, what coding questions were asked, what questions around CS fundamentals were asked, what HR questions were asked. So before an interview, make sure that you read as many archives as possible. Solve interview bit. For once in your life, you must have solved interview bit completely. It has around 350 problems and you should have solved all of them. If you do it once, good. If you do it twice, very good. Is competitive programming worth it? Shruti asks, yeah, I definitely think competitive programming is totally worth it. You like get a lot of confidence in solving questions because of it.
Okay. Okay. There's another question. Should we explore interview experience?
Sorry, can you elaborate? Like, what exactly are you trying to ask? Interview experiences, like interview archives? Yeah, you definitely should. Like, I'll show you once. Let's say I'll search for Microsoft interview archives GFG. So you will find articles that people have written around their interview experiences. So Microsoft interview experience for SD1 on campus. So I did it a lot, like before any interview, if I had time. Like for some companies, I did not have any time at all because they will call me like on Monday that, okay, come for the interview in next 10 minutes. That has also happened. And like come for the interview tomorrow. So in that courses, I would not be able to do it. But if I had got the time, I had always made sure that I read these articles. Like in interview round 1, this question was asked. So you get a fair idea of how the particular interview is gonna go through, right? Every company has a different process, like slightly different. All of them kind of have same, but yeah, slightly different things. Like some companies, like companies have favorite topics as well. Like Microsoft asks LinkedIn a lot, Amazon asks trees a lot, Google is a fan of graphs and backtracking and DP. So if you read these interview archives, you will have a good fair idea of what to expect in the interview. How long your coding journey was, how you started? Shrishti, I started, like I had computer science in my class 11th and 12th, and I chose to study computer science because it was more interesting. I found it more interesting than physics and chemistry, to be honest. I was like, I probably cannot deal with wires, but I can deal with code. So I chose computer science as my major. And so I had already some experience in C. Like I will not actually consider that a lot of experience. I just know what C in C out was, and the basic for loops and if else conditions in my 12th class, like whatever was required until then. Even like I did not have a personal computer at home. So, and there was only one computer class in the whole week. So we would just get to actually code for only once in a week. So I had some experience, little experience, but my coding journey actually started when I joined college. I started exploring things mainly from my second semester. So I was someone who was not actually very clear about what I want to do in my career. And even though I joined engineering, I was not sure if I wanted to become an engineer. So I started with exploring different things. I explored, like I did a marketing internship. I did like I taught for 6 months in a coaching institute, like to 9th and 10th class people. I managed some events, so just to explore if I can see this as a career opportunity. I saw the syllabus of GATE and CAT, and I saw what these people do. And I even joined NCC to see like if I wanted to join Indian Army or not. Like ultimately, probably just get a flavor of it. And coding was also one thing that I explored along with other things. And I felt like out of all other things, I can stay with this thing. Though it took some time, I would say the exploration phase of coding was so long. I started with like learning, revising basic concepts from C++. And then I, did some DSA. Then I switched to Android development, which I did not do for long. I had a very poor laptop at that time, so Android Studio would not open. And then I did DSA again for like a few months. I wanted to explore web development also, and I also wanted to explore machine learning. So I would say the exploration phase went for like an year, and I was already immersed into this world of coding. So I did not think about anything else, and I found it like better than other things, and something that I'll not like you. I don't want to discourage someone by saying that you start enjoying coding, because it's depressing as well at times if you're not able to solve it. But it gets better.
Okay, Bhavik has asked when will be the quiz. Yeah, Bhavik, we are almost done. I guess the questions are also done. Manvi ma'am, the questions are done, right?
Yes, right. Also, like for the questions that, okay, you have shared my handles already. For
Right.
some of the things, okay. So I have some articles written on it if you have some questions unanswered. So this one is about how I started interviewing, which companies I interviewed with, what was the process, and what happened. Like every detail is there in this article. This one is about how did I get multiple interview calls, and like the right way to ask for referrals. This one is about what is this one about? This one is about converting your internship to PPOs. Okay, so like I did 2 internships, and like you people do a lot of getting a PPO from an internship is a great thing. If you are interning at a good company and you get a PPO, nothing is better than that. So some tips around that are in this thread, and this thread has some tips around how should you actually give an interview. Like interviews are not just about solving a coding question, but how do you solve it, what approach do you take, that's also important. So I'll put this in the chat. If something is unanswered or something you don't know and you can't even ask it because you don't know, you will find it all here.
Yeah, I guess you can all connect with her as well on LinkedIn or any platform. We have shared the links in the chat, and you can also access these links that ma'am has shared right now. Okay, cool. So yeah, as promised before, we have a quiz right now. But before that, we would thank our speaker, Manvi ma'am. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. This was indeed a session to be remembered for. The amount of knowledge and also the amount of personal knowledge that you shared to every student was something commendable, because speakers generally don't take personal questions. They really stay off they don't go off the topic. But that was so helpful to all the people here. They all enjoyed, and many of my team members also asked all the doubts that they had. Thank you so much for that, ma'am.
Thanks.
And
Thanks everyone for joining in and tuning in. Thanks.
okay, it was an amazing session. Indeed, it was. We are 100 people strong, and now okay. Can we have the link of the quiz on the chat? Team, can you add the link on the chat box? We'll
Yeah, link
quickly
coming up.
start.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll quickly start. Guys, that's the link for the quiz. You
Okay.
guys need to join that.
So can you all quickly join the quiz? It's a super fun quiz, 10 questions quiz about what all ma'am said. And we would have a winner at the end of it. You I guess, get 30 seconds to answer each question. And it's on Slido. So everyone just open the Slido. Or can someone also add the code to it? The code to Slido? There's also a code, right?
Yeah, just a second. Sharing.
Yes. Okay, the code is also there, 440829. So you can just tap on the code and start with it. Can we start it in a minute, Atharv?
Yeah, we can start it in a minute. If anyone from the team could share that screen for the quiz purpose. Okay, Kushank, should we start the quiz?
Yeah.
Activate it. I can't see many participants as of now. Yeah.
Okay, 16 people are there.
Yeah.
23, 27.
27 are there. 30.
Okay, 36 people are.
Yeah. So almost 40.
Yeah, we'll wait for 60, 65 people to join in, and then we'll start, I guess. Because we have 80 people here. Okay, 50 people are there.
Guys, do join the quiz. like unable to join the quiz, please try now.
You have to click on the link and go to the poll section. There you will have to enter your name. Just
Yeah,
आपको visible होना.
just put in your name.
Okay, we have 56
we have 56 people. Yeah.
Let's wait for like 30 seconds more. 60 people. Great.
We have some amazing goodies for you guys for the winner of the quiz. So do participate in the quiz actively. And it's a fun quiz. It's a great quiz.
Okay, I guess we are done. 65 people. Should we start with it, Athar?
Yeah. Is anyone specifically unable to join still?
Yeah, if anyone is having problem, please ask now.
Yeah, please ask now. So we'll start in a minute. Okay, I guess no queries. So we should start.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm starting the quiz. Okay, the question is up, I guess.
What is the percentage of women leaders at Google? Interesting.
I can see responses coming in. Great.
I also.
Guys, you have got a timer of 30 seconds. So that's enough, I guess. We have just MCQ based questions. Yeah. Many responses coming in, over 50 responses.
57, 60 responses.
Okay,
what was the right? What was the right?
So the correct answer is 25 to 30%.
Damn, I thought 35 to 40 was there.
Okay, next question coming up. Who was the inventor of Wi-Fi? We can see quick responses coming in.
Yeah, half of them have already done it.
Yeah.
So this quiz is also dependent on the time that you take, not just the questions.
Yeah. The faster you answer, more is the chances of getting good rank.
Right.
Okay, so the correct answer is, yeah, it's coming up.
Lemar. Who gets credited with having found the first bug?
Shrang, is quiz properly visible? Like everyone can feed in answers?
Yes. I'm also doing it.
Okay, great. Yeah, over 50 responses. That's great, guys. Okay, so correct answer coming up. That's great.
Majority of them are getting into the winning zone. I feel like more than 70 people are always getting it right. Wow. What percentage of researchers worldwide are women? This is something. Okay, I really believe it should be the answer.
Okay, so correct answer coming up. And that's less than 30%. So moving up to next question.
Again, majority of people knew this.
Yeah.
The Women Scientist Teams was launched by WS. This was in my social science book, I remember.
So there are over 70-80% responses in each question, which is correct. So that's good. Are you guys Googling it?
If you're spoiling the fun, yeah.
Don't Google it, guys, please. Okay, so correct answer is Department of Science and Technology. That's DST. Okay, next question. Which internship by Google focuses more on women in tech? I guess we just covered it in this
session. We just covered it in this session.
Yeah. Okay, great. Quick responses. Okay, so the correct answer is step, as we all know. Next question coming up.
Was the first female hacker? We can reduce the time more, Athar, from the next time, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we can reduce the time even more.
Yeah, if we can do it 20 seconds, I guess that
Yeah.
will be fine enough.
Okay, great, guys. Last 3 questions coming up, so be excited. And yeah, okay, next question. So correct answer is shown up, and the next question. Who was one of the first computer programmers to work on hardware Mark 1?
I guess we covered this in the session as well.
Yeah. And also, guys, like at the end of this quiz only, we'll be sharing the leaderboard with you. So
the leaderboard will be visible to everyone.
Yeah, it will be visible to everyone. You will get to know your rank. Okay, correct answer coming up. That's great, super. Okay, next
Moving
question.
on to the penultimate question of the quiz. Who invented Canva?
Who invented Canva? Nowadays, many people use Canva regularly.
Such a creative tool.
Yeah, such a great tool.
Our whole website, the what do you call the texture for it, the palettes for it, all the invites are from
Posters
Canva.
you have been seeing.
Yes.
It's all been made using Canva. Okay. Great. Over 50 responses. Okay, great. So right answer coming up. Okay. So correct answer is up. Okay, now the last question for the quiz. So are you guys excited? Like you can answer in chat. So
let's see who wins it.
Okay.
Yesterday the winner and the second one, they only had like
0.6 seconds.
Yeah, 0.6 seconds something of the difference.
Who is referred as the first programmer of the world? Okay, so that's the last question, like 15 odd seconds remaining. Okay, guys. Okay. I can see over 60 responses. That's great, guys. Okay, so correct answer coming up. Yeah, most majority of people have answered it correctly. So should we share the leaderboard, Kushang? Is everyone excited?
Yes.
Okay,
let's see who gets all the goodies for the session.
Yeah. And Akriti answered all the correct questions correctly. And Muskan, Sugani also like many of people have answered correctly.
See the difference in the
least amount of time.
Yes.
So Akriti,
congratulations,
really
Akriti.
very fast.
Yeah, Akriti, if you're in the, you must be in the meeting. Please share your details, your mail ID or your contact to any of the hosts, to me, to Atharv, or to Priyanshi.
Someone from the team, please collect. Akriti, could you just raise your hand?
Yeah.
So we'll collect your information for the goodies.
Else we'll completely like, you'll be lost. Akriti Kumari. Okay. Can you message me the details or to Priyanshi or to Atharv? To anyone? Like here only on the Zoom? Okay. In the meantime, Akriti does that. I saw many of the questions related to the Geeks for Geeks competitive programming. Just to give you a heads up, guys, this is a 3-day-long event. This is one of the sessions for the event. Our next session is from Geeks for Geeks. You are having a DSA webinar. That will be an informative webinar. That will be from the side of Geeks for Geeks. We have a speaker who is a trainee there. So any of your doubts regarding data structure and algorithms, such an important topic for the for interviews, for placements, for the third year people, for second year people, or whoever interested in it, can tap in to the same Zoom link at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. sharp, we'll start the program. So you have 1 hour of break, enjoy, chill. And then we'll be back at 1 p.m. for the Geeks for Geeks webinar. Later in the day, we have a webinar on UI UX by Vaishnavi Dwivedi. She's also an influential personality on UI UX. And in the night, like at 6 to 8, we have coding competition on Coding Ninjas that is called Area 51. So if anyone can just drop the link
Yeah, just
here.
put in the link of the website and different sessions.
Yes, for Area 15. Okay, Akriti, I've got your details. I've copied them. We'll soon connect with you and give you your goodies. Wait a second.
Okay, so if that is done,
yeah, can we please have the Area 51 link, team? Priyanshi, anyone, if you can.
yeah, that the team will do. Please continue, Kushan.
Okay, Area 51 link is right here. Okay, thank you so much everyone for joining in for the session. I hope we'll see you all in our coming sessions as well. Today is the day 2 and tomorrow is the day 3. Be updated on Discord. We have all the news, all the sessions right there. And thank you once again to Manvi for this session. It was indeed a delight. So yeah, guys, see you all right there. Great session. Really enjoyed a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
And thank you once again, Manu ma'am, for such an informative session. That was a great session.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, I'm ending the meet for everyone. Bye, guys. Take care.